G'day punters, BTC Cup awaits us on Saturday, the first Group 1 of the Brisbane Winter Carnival, which is just about my favourite time of year. Love the Winter Carnival, Mick.
Every time of year is your favourite time of year, Jakey boy.
I'm just a positive man. I have a positive, optimistic outlook on life, which means we're going to find a winner this weekend.
Glass half full.
My word it is. We're going to do the form in a sec, but just before we do, let's hear about all the racing news from Nat at the news desk.
Thanks, Jake. Jockey Hugh Bowman is hopeful of being fully fit for his ride on BTC Cup favourite Hortensia on Saturday in Brisbane. Bowman fell from Shake the Ground at Randwick on Wednesday, but was lucky enough to walk away with only a bruised left leg. Looking at the barrier draw for the Group 1 BTC Cup, and Hortensia will start from 4. TJ Smith Stakes winner Melito will jump from 7, while New Zealander King Mufasa has drawn the outside barrier of 12. Metal Bender has emerged as the outright favourite for the Group 1 Doomben Cup following first acceptances on Wednesday. Metal Bender has firmed ahead of Road to Rock, who he beat in last Saturday's Hollandale Stakes at the Gold Coast. Final acceptances for the Doomben Cup on Saturday week will be taken next Wednesday. And that's all from me, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Nat. That fall of Hugh Bowman's on Wednesday on the Kensington track, it was pretty ordinary. He got trampled. If he's fit for Saturday, it's tough as old boots, the old Huey Bowman.
Did look rather nasty, didn't it?
Yeah, he is due to ride Hortensia in the BTC Cup. Let's just quickly run through the odds. Hortensia is a $3.50 favourite. Melito $5.80. Shell Scrape is out to $7.40 today. Mick Mac $8. Monton $9, and then a host including Sister Madley, Russetting, Set for Fame, and others about $20 or longer. There's probably two key form lines here. One of them being the Galaxy, where Hortensia came through and Shell Scrape ran second to her there. The other being the all-aged Melito, a pretty handy second, the Hot Danish in that race. Obviously there's others further down the list that obviously we need to give due consideration to, Mick, but of those two that I mentioned, those two form lines, form races, which are you heeding with the greatest respect?
Probably just slightly towards Hortensia on the strength of that Galaxy win. It was a big run from the back of the field. And she looked like she had plenty up her sleeve, so I think she's a deserved favourite, although Melito could challenge her, dropping back to 1200. Yeah. I think that's probably her best distance, especially if there's some speed in the race. She'll be finishing on strongly. I think the girls will dominate here. Sister Madley and little Set for Fame there at about 1850, I think, is over the odds. So wouldn't surprise me if they filled the first 4.
Sister Madley's an underrated filly, also an expensive filly, a half to Star Witness, if I'm correct. I think Shell Scrape was an equally good run at Randwick behind Hortensia. It did a fair bit more work than her, I think. Hortensia's favoured in the weights. I think she gets a 3 kilo weight pull, which to me suggests that she'll probably beat him home, but I wouldn't discount him. I think Melito's a gun filly as well. I agree with you. What have you heard about Set for Fame?
It's hard to get a guide on exactly how well she's going. Yeah. She did have that virus in Sydney. Peter Moody tipped her out with the idea of going towards the Winter Stakes later on in the carnival. So she might not be fully wound up for this, but if they go fast enough, and there is some good speed in this race, she could be finishing on, but certainly one to watch for later on in the carnival. Yeah,
I mean, with the pace on, it's pretty hard to go past Hortensia. She's my top pick for that reason. A few of the other feature races at Doomben on Saturday are the Chairman's Handicap. I'm finding this a difficult one for the to pick out. I reckon pick one in the top of the market and lay it.
It's a pretty ordinary field.
Yeah.
All the same horses, the Larrys Never Lates of this world. Yeah. We've seen them before, we know what they do. So somebody will have their birthday again. That's
right. I'd be inclined to pick one out that maybe appears unders and lay that. The Rough Habit Plate's an interesting race for the 3-year-old up-and-comers, probably heading towards the Queensland Derby. Yeah. You like one here, Mick?
Yeah, keen to back Bluey's Way from the Tim Martin stable. Very progressive, and I think he'll be winning this.
Very good. In Melbourne, a couple of feature races this weekend include the Straight 6. Catapulted was a favourite for the Goodwood Handicap last start in Adelaide and almost pinched the race. He was 2 or 3 clear at the 100 metre mark. Looked like he'd win it for everything in the world, just got nutted on the post. He's a $1.95 favourite in early tissue prices. I don't know, first run up the straight.
Yeah, odds-on's a worry. Yeah, Royal Discretion's going well, I know that, and at $11 or thereabouts, it could be a good each-way foil there for the fave.
Yeah, I'd be laying Catapulted in that race purely on price, not saying he won't win. And the Andrew Ramsden is the other feature race on the Flemington card on Saturday. One of the few 2-mile races left on the Australian racing calendar. A few good horses in that. Hissing Sid was a great winner last start at Warrnambool
Terrific
Cup.
at Warrnambool.
Kurt M and Ajar, one of the Lee Friedman runners from the Ball and Chain Syndicate from the UK.
Yes, and we both know about Ball and Chains, so on the strength of his last win, I think Ajar's probably the one to be with here over 2 miles. It's going to suit him down to the ground, with lightweight too.
I think Hissing Sid won so well at Warrnambool that I'm pretty keen to tip him on top. We'll find out what your best is for the week just after we have a chat to Nat and find out what her Betfair Big Spruik for this weekend is.
The Betfair
Well guys, my Betfair Big Spruik is going to be in Saturday's Group 1 BTC Cup, and I think Melito has come into the race with some excellent form, winning the TJ Smith Stakes last month and then running second, I think, to Hot Danish in the All-Age Stakes. And she'll start from barrier 7 and I think she'll take it out at $5.50 for the win.
Good on you, Nat. Melito, her best for the week. Mick, I'm going against her. But first, what's your Betfair Big Spruik of the week?
I'm going to go the rough habit and stick with Bluey's Way. He hasn't let me down in his previous 2 wins, so I'll be happy to stick fat there.
Bluey's Way from the Tim Martin stable in the rough habit plate. I'm sticking with Hortensia. I think Tony Noonan's been pretty careful in picking out the races for her this campaign. She was first up in the Galaxy, won that well, gets a good weight pull on Shell Scrape. She'll do me. Needs a few things to go away, but I think you're getting a bit of value around her $3.50 price. Mick, all the very best to you this weekend on the punt.
And to you, Jake.
Let's keep our fingers crossed for a big weekend. And to you too, punters, all the best. We'll catch up with you next week.